Just make sure we got a stream going before we start. Check it now. Should. Check one. Check 1, 2. Alright. We're good. Alright. We're good. Yeah. If I want to play that clip, where got it. Okay. I was go live at 30, 20, 10, 5. And we are live. This is Silence is Compliance on Voluntary Virtues Network, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. We had a crazy week this week. Like I said, starting, and I get messages as soon as we get started. Other people having problems, which is never a good thing. But this is Silence is Compliance on Voluntary Virtues Network that was put together by Michael Shanklin, a collaboration of all kinds of people that are doing their best to put the truth out and cover the stories that the local mainstream media will not cover. And that's what we do. I'm your host, investigative journalist, reporter, activist, rabble-rouser, depending on what part of the spectrum you find yourself in. Troublemaker, some might call enemy of the state, and some might call domestic terrorist. I have more than 7 days worth of food, and I supported Ron Paul, and I support freedom. So right there, that makes me an enemy of the state. And there are consequences that come with somebody that does not go along to get along. But at the same time, if you just go along to get along, like most people want to do, then this whole I'm a good law-abiding citizen, and somebody said that, like they thought they were insulting me when I posted this story, which I'm going to get into, about a police altercation in Nanticoke, Pennsylvania. And what's funny was, I guess the call got put out, to try to flood my Facebook page as if they're gonna make a difference, and obviously they had no idea who I am or what I do, and that I wasn't gonna censor them, and go ahead, go have at it. And all it was a bunch of numbskulls that shared the page and came on my page and kept this thread going, like 100, 200 comments deep, and it was just absolute nonsense. And when I tell you the story, and when I tell you what this is all about, and then I tell you some of the other stories, and you realize that, we are at a place now where it's dangerous for multiple reasons, okay? And the scary part about it is you would think that most Americans would want freedom, but when it comes to my town, or I don't, I know there's been these studies where USA Today calls the Scranton Wilkes-Barre area the armpit of the country, and then wasn't there just a recent one, Jeff? Wasn't there a recent one where they also
it was
just recently about corruption?
The fifth most corrupt state in the United States.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's about right. And then if you go, pound for pound, county-wise, I think Luzerne County I think it's a undisputed heavyweight champion in the world.
It would be tough. It would be tough to differentiate, to decide what is worse. If it was maybe like Dauphin County, that's where Harrisburg resides, in Dauphin County. It would be tough to decide whether Luzerne, Lackawanna County, or Dauphin County would be the most corrupt. I honestly think that the toss-up would come down to Lackawanna County and Harrisburg.
Well, okay, but there's a difference with a distinction there. Harrisburg is it's more or less the state. They're running the state out of Harrisburg, so you can't break it down county-wise for Harrisburg, and say, okay, Dauphin County, because they're running their county, but they're also running the state out of Harrisburg. So, yeah, obviously there's a hell of a lot of corruption there.
Dauphin County bought $6 million worth of Wild West artifacts for a museum that they never built.
Wait, of what kind of?
They wanted to build a Wild West museum.
They spent the money.
And they spent the money to buy all the artifacts, and the museum was never built. They spent,
where are the artifacts?
In the governor's mansion. I think they sold them off on eBay for something like a $4 million loss or something like that. Most of them. and then they built that. And then they built that incinerator. That's like a huge scandal because the incinerator was never even turned on.
Scandal. That's business. That's a good business plan there. When you're a mafia. Well, listen. When you're a mafia and you run everything as a mafia, you're gonna you're taking stolen goods in the front door and selling them at a discount out the back door because it's 100% profit. That's what the government is. It's a Ponzi scheme. So it's business, So, of course, not on this show. This is more of a laid-back show. It's only an hour long and it flies by. And while it's on my mind, make sure you tune in to Sunday Liberty Chat Edition, 7 to 9 p.m. and Wednesday, tomorrow night, FPRN Radio. You can find that on TuneIn on your mobile app. Let's see. And that's about it. The new Wilkes-Barre Independent Gazette just came out today. You could go to their website and check out the column I just wrote saying titled, Would You Recognize Tyranny? And that's a whole... No, I guess it ties right in with everything. And, this is what, getting back to the original story of what happened this week with the video that was given to me about some young men in Nanticoke that left a bazaar, like a church picnic type deal, and got pulled over by a guy in a costume and a badge, and the passenger was smart enough to record the incident. And this is what I tell people all the time, and if they'd stop being so afraid of pissing the cops off, you want to realize how many incidences there have been where people have saved themselves because it's on video. And I mean, Luke Rutkowski, the founder of We Are Change, talks about how he got started in all this, that he got beat up by a cop, and because there was no video of it back then, that it was like it never happened. And ever since then, he started carrying around a video camera, and the rest has been history. But you know, we all have our own stories, and this this show. I mean, if you look and you see, I just got, well, Jeff, you actually sent me this video here, and I talked to a couple people, and I guess this has been going around. It's been shared, you know, thousands and thousands of times. This video where these two jackbooted thugs are at the door, and the cop, I guess, goes to slap the camera out of the guy's hand, maybe. But what we do know is that he slapped the grandmother in the
He
face.
punched her right in the face.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
He hit her right in the face.
Right. So, you know, when the police have gotten to the point where they are this corrupt, and I talk to people, you know, I talk to people that are related to police. I talk to people that are, you know, dating police or married to police, and I try to convince them to divorce them or leave them, you know. But, you know, with that being said, like, everybody sees it. Everybody sees it, and they might have a little bit of a different spin on it, or a little different bit, like, angle, and they know, like, everybody knows how this works. And I could not believe the response that I got from, you know, all these Nana Coke babies up in Nana Coke yesterday, that I released this video, and it was obviously a story in itself, okay? And it was under 2 minutes long, and the point of the video was to show that when the costume asked the driver about his license and registration, the driver asked the police officer, you know, why am I being pulled over? And the officer's response was, because I had nothing better to do, so I figured I'd pull you over tonight, okay, or today. And that was his response. Now, to me, that was a story right there. All right. Now, it's been shared 38 times on my page. It's been shared over 150 times on Adam Kokesh's page, and I haven't even checked Coplock or any of the other pages that, you know, that linked up or posted to it. It's got over, it's pushing 5,000 hits, you know, in 2 days or in a day. But I got pounced on by, you know, these brain dead zombies from Manicoke, you know, saying he's the best cop ever, and okay, even the cameraman told me that he's a good cop, and you know, there was a whole situation there. Now, obviously, I was the one who made the decision to put this out, because the truth has to get out there no matter what. But okay, so he's, in a lot of people's opinion, a good cop. Now, I make the argument that there's no such thing as a good cop. Okay, if your job demands for you to do immoral things, then by very definition, then you are wrong. You cannot be, you know, a good well, okay, yeah, you could be a good thief in the aspect of you could be good at what you do, but if you're going to make the case that you're a good cop, where's that feedback coming from? Okay. But if you're going to make the case that, you know, they're a good cop, they're morally righteous, and they're doing what's best, and they're protecting and serving, right? Well, no, not even close, okay? These people run a protection racket scam, all right? And that's what it is. They rule by fear and intimidation. That's what they do. When the bubbles come on behind you, everybody admits that you do not feel safe when these bubbles come on, all right? Everybody knows this. And for the fact that you have so many people scared into submission, when cops literally on a regular basis lie in court, get away with it, all right? And that, you know, thankfully we have now technology where we're able to step up our game and start to put them back on their heels. And just like a rattlesnake, eventually they'll snap back. But that's why we need to stay on them. We need to keep pushing and stay on them the best we can. So with that story, now, like I said, and other than the people in Nanacoke, okay, this video, 5,000 hits in under 24 hours. That's pretty good. It went out to the world, all right? And other than maybe one person on YouTube, maybe two, if I'm being generous, and then all the people from Nanacoke that rallied to the cause, no, but everybody thought this was a huge story, okay? And then these people in Nanacoke tried making the case that he was being sarcastic, okay? Now, if the cop had given this guy a DUI and the video evidence showed that this cop said, I had nothing better to do, so I pulled you over. Jeff, you're not a lawyer, but could you take a guess of how that would have played out in court?
Well, I don't think it would have went over very well at all. I mean, I pulled you over because I have nothing better. I mean, when you get stopped by the police, there's the first thing that's supposed to happen.
Even if you're kidding, so
No. Kidding doesn't count.
Right.
Kidding doesn't count. And when you get stopped by a police officer, and you ask them what their reason for stopping you is, they're supposed to answer you. You can't just tell me like, hey, you up against the wall. You know what I mean? You have to have a legitimate reason for having stopped me. I have to be suspected of having committed a crime, or if I'm driving, I have to be suspected of having committed an infraction against traffic ordinances or traffic control devices. Not just, oh, well, hey, I was bored, so I decided I'd stop you and see if I can drum up some reason to cite you, to fine you, or to arrest you. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It's not. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's not supposed to be, hey, come over here and let me, shake you down and see if I can find some reason to take you away or some reason to fine you. That's not how that's supposed to work. And I don't think that would fly in a court, period.
Agree. Let's see. Are you able to hear this? I'm gonna try.
Yeah, I'm in the control room portion.
Hang on.
Oh, I can't hear that part. No, I can't hear anything.
I don't know.
The speaker doesn't work on this.
I'm not. See, that's why I gotta work on. I gotta practice with this more often. I'm not sure. See, I hear it in my mic, but it might be just through the computer. I'm not sure if it's going through.
Well, I asked and see if somebody could pop into the chat room there and just let us give us a heads up as to whether or not you guys can hear this audio. I see we have 16 people here watching us. If somebody could jump in.
That's just the chat room, but yeah.
If somebody could jump into the chat room and let us know if you guys can hear this video that's being played, would be absolutely great. You go over to the left side of the screen. At the very top, there's a little blue icon. Just click on that. It brings the chat room up on the left-hand side of the
test. All right. We'll get this down with this new show we're doing here.
We're still working on things. We don't have everything figured out yet as far as what the capabilities of this format is.
I just did 2 tests. All right, because I think it'll be very valuable as far as doing shows on doing live things on the go real quick. I hear you. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me. I'm gonna play the clip. Let me know if you could hear the clip. All right, it's playing now. And if it's not going through right now, I apologize for the dead air, but I'm kind of hoping it's being played. I'll find out in about 3 seconds. Let's see. Can only hear you. Okay. Now the clip's not going through. All right. No big deal.
Let me see if there's another way. I'll see if there's.
You know what? If you plug in.
No,
if you plug in.
I think I have it here.
What?
If you go down, there should be on the left-hand side of your screen a little YouTube icon. You should be able to share it right from there.
Yeah, I could share it in the chat room, but I wanted to play it for the video. That's different. All right, it's no big deal. Hang on. There's one more thing I could try. But go ahead, Jeff. So what else do you think about? You seen the whole video. You've seen the whole video. What else do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I mean,
or the fact that Nanico comes to his aid. I want to get into that a lot more. But go ahead. Whatever you got on your.
Well, I mean, the bottom line of it is that no matter how nice of a guy, listen, this officer may be the nicest guy in the world. Hell, he might be that cop that stops to play basketball with the kids in the park. You know what I mean? He might be the guy that he's always more than happy to help when you lock your keys in your car, and he never complains about coming down to get the keys out of your car when he has to use the Slim Jim to unlock your doors. Or whatever it may be. But the bottom line of this whole entire encounter that's on this video is that when you are stopped by a police officer, they must let you know why they stopped you. It can't just be, I just felt like pulling you over, or you looked like someone who might be doing something wrong. That's not how it works. I get stopped, you're detaining me. You're holding me up. You have to tell me why you're putting me in that situation. And just because I felt like it, or because I was bored, or had nothing better to do, or you looked like some nefarious character that may be doing something wrong, that is not a legitimate reason to stop me. That's not a legitimate reason to pull me over. You were speeding, you ran a stop sign, your tail light was out, whatever. Those are legitimate reasons to be stopped. I mean, as far as in the eyes of the law, I'm not saying that they're legitimate, that I believe that these are legitimate reasons, but these are legitimate reasons as far as the law is concerned. I was bored and had nothing to do and got sick of sitting in the cruiser is not a legitimate reason. And too many people are focusing on, oh, this guy's such a good guy, and we love him over here, and all the Nanicokians are all riled up. We love this guy over here. He's the best cop we have. Well, obviously he's not that great of a cop if he's pulling people over just because he feels like it, and then when he gets someone that admits that, hey, I drank a pitcher of beer, then you probably would have ended up with a driving under the influence, and he just kind of let him go. I mean, I'm glad that he let him go, because it's somebody that I know, so I'm happy that he didn't get jammed up there because of that. But on the same side of it, you're arguing about what a great cop this is and what a great guy this is, and you gotta uphold the law and everything, and then you're not.
So we're gonna try playing this again, and let me, if anybody's able to let me know if they're able to hear this. You should be able to hear this now, because it's gonna be going straight into the mic.
Got somewhere to stop you. Don't look at what I'm taking. Don't look at what I'm taking. I ain't got no fucking What's going on, guys? How's it going? Oh, not so much. Yeah, license, registration, and insurance. Somewhere in here. Why am I being stopped? Huh? Why am I being stopped? I figured that much. Smart ass. Smart ass? Yeah. I ain't no fucking smart ass. Why am I being stopped? Huh? Why am I being stopped?
Because I have nothing better to do, so I figured I'd stop you today. Yeah, one more time.
Why am I being stopped? Huh? Why am I being stopped? I figured that much.
Because I had nothing better to do, so I figured I'd stop you today. All right. Now, listen. I don't care. What you think, as far as it's justified. It's okay. He's joking around. No, these people are playing. It's literal life and death. All right. And I had some joker come on my page, and I don't know who she is, what she is, anything. And she, said something. What was it? Where is it at? She I was talking about the police and how there's no such thing as a good cop, and I'm trying to make my argument, but to the brain dead dullards out there that know it all and cannot admit that, hey, I might be wrong about something. And that's the whole thing about all of this, is I'm willing to admit I might be wrong about something, although history has not proven that yet. And if you're somebody who wants to try to step up and prove me wrong, you are more than welcome to try. Okay? But other than that, if you're somebody, so this lady, right? She comes on my page today, all right? Listen to this, Jeff. She comes on my page today, and she makes a post, right? And it's a video. I'm trying to find it now. I know I didn't delete it. I don't delete people's stuff. She comes on my page, and she posted a video. Oh, maybe she deleted it herself. Because I do not see it at all. Yeah, it looks like, she probably blocked me, honestly.
It's a good chance that she decided that perhaps maybe it wasn't such a great idea to, take out that stick and poke the hornet's nest there.
I'll get to that. Actually, all these Nanocokians that were on my page with 185 fucking comments, right? Okay. As soon as the full video came out, gone. Okay, gone. So they thought I was like trying to protect the people in the car, and I'm trying to make the cop look bad. And I tried warning. Listen, I totally set them up too. Like a game of chess, because I knew these guys are still playing fucking tiddlywinks. All right, while I'm playing 4-dimensional chess here, and so I started saying things, real egregious, and I'm like, so if somebody's drinking and driving, well, I guess you would just throw them in a cage no matter what, even if they had kids in the car, just total off-the-wall stuff, because I knew that they were going to come back and say, well, it's the law, and, whatever happens, they're the ones who decided to get behind the vehicle, this and that, right? And because I knew what was coming. They didn't. I knew what was coming. So I got as many of them on record as I can. I screen capped the whole thing, and I said, all right, you're a buddy officer that you're all standing up for, and he's saying so great. Well, when I expedite this video and get it out there as soon as I possibly can, just to please the bloodthirsty wolves that are out there, I decided to put it up. And Jesus, so just to please these bloodthirsty masses, these people that really thought they know it all, and I looked real quick. I started pressing on their names at Nanocoke. So it was very easy, because I've done this to people before. Steve Corbett, WILK. So I know exactly how it works, but the difference is when you step into my arena, you lose, okay? Because I'm open. I'm not looking to hide anything. Like this one guy here who put a mugshot of me holding my name and the address. He's like, I'm betting, let's see, I'm a betting man, and I'm sure Officer Kata doesn't have a picture like this, right? And he shows the mugshot, and I just laughed at it. I'm like, dude, that was my default picture for like months, like really? And then he said something
like they're trying to like shame you.
Yeah. You're gonna shame me because I'm non-compliant. I don't believe in your system, right? So here, this was the best. He said something. Oh, there was a picture of a story that I covered about the FEMA trailers, okay, that how they were being stored right here on 315, and there's a picture that was made, and it says covered the story within, and half the picture was the mainstream media, and it said a month. The other half of the picture, it said independent media, and it says a week, and it's a picture of me standing by a sign that says restricted area, no trespassing, and I'm, you know, flipping the bird to the sign, and he said something about, I see you're a law-abiding citizen, right? So as I wrote him back, and I'm like, dude, if you call me a law-abiding citizen again, I might actually have to file a suit against you for libel, you know? Like, no, don't even try that with me. I'm not, you know, because to me, a law-abiding citizen is a well-groomed slave. And it seems that it seems like they all migrated to Nanticoke, a bunch of well-groomed slaves in Nanticoke. So what we have here, so I released the full video, and I knew it. I'm like, listen, you guys are going to get everything you wanted. And I even, you know, I say, I'm somebody who I don't want to see other people get their lives ruined for victimless crimes and nonsense. All right, and if you watch the video, you can make up your own determination on, you know, how this should have played out. But if you watch the video, you know, some people might say, hey, this guy looked pretty intoxicated. Hey, this guy admitted to drinking a pitcher of beer to the cop, you know? Okay.
He didn't say I had a beer or two, man. You know, he was totally honest. He's like, dude, look, I drank a pitcher.
I had a beer or 5. He said, I had a pitcher of beer. And then okay, you know. So that's
yeah, but I think that officer had a pretty good idea that you know, once he realized that he was being recorded, I think he had a pretty good idea that, like, hey, you know, maybe I really shouldn't push this too much, because that answer, I stopped you because I felt like it. I don't know how well that would fly in a court. You know,
that's the decision. That's, you know, pretty much where I came to as going over this with some people that I advise with and talk to, and the only thing I could see, all right, because I mean, in my opinion, it did. Okay, well, I guess I don't have to go in my opinion. Well, all right, I'll put it this way. The driver admitted to drinking a pitcher of beer, okay, and in my opinion, I'm not sure how he speaks normally, but in my opinion, his words were, you know, a little bit slurred. Uh, okay, and for the fact that he refused to get out of the vehicle, and fair enough, all for it, fine, you know, do what you gotta do, and said he didn't want to take a breathalyzer. Okay, now the whole point, obviously, people don't want to take a breathalyzer if they've been drinking, and the cop straight up said, I'm not going to give you a breathalyzer. So it seemed like the cop did everything he could not, you know, not to give this guy a DUI, which if it was what it was, I would like to commend this guy and say, hey, you know, you great job for using your discretion. And even the cameraman didn't even want pretty much any of the second part up, but I told him, you know, I have to do what I have to do. I can't cherry pick stories. But he said the cop's a good guy. But I do have to agree that the fact that once that second cop got there and said, you know, oh, officer safety, you know, I had to inform him of who you are and that he had, you know, we had run-ins with him before or something, and that's when what happened. I think that's when it hit the other cop that, wow, maybe they have me on tape.
you know, man, I think a little bit of this too is that it was more harassment and retaliation for a previous incident more than it was, hey, you know, I think I'm just gonna pull this guy over because I'm bored. I think that they wanted to stop those guys just to see if they could maybe create an incident. And when they realized that they were being that that they were being recorded, the ball game kind of changed then, and that's why he said to him, look, just get out of the car. I'm not going to give you a breathalyzer because, I mean, that's like a payday, you know, for Officer Coda or whatever his name is. You know, he just, that's fish in a barrel. He just got somebody to take to the drunk tank. You know what I mean? So, and I think, like I said, him saying, look, just get out of the car. I'm not going to give you a breathalyzer.
I think this is an extremely big story for the fact that these guys have to stay strong. They did a great job, and it's starting to show. I mean, we see it here and there. You know, these videos pop up where people pull out their cameras, that they know their rights more than the cops, and they stand up for themselves. Okay, now granted, people have to be smart about it. You don't want to get out of the vehicle and start swinging at a cop, or, you know, do something to get yourself killed. But I believe they handled that situation very well. If I was the driver of that vehicle, I certainly would be thanking the passenger of the vehicle for doing everything he did. You know, being so quick on his toes that he let the driver know, ask him why you're being stopped, because that's huge, man. And I think that took the cop off guard enough to where, you know, even if he might have been so thrown off by that question, he might have, you know, just been sarcastic. That might have been a little bit of his personality jumping out there, okay? But I do believe it was harassment. From what I heard of the story and what happened earlier in the night, nothing bad that these young men did, but the cameraman had a feeling that these cops were going to follow him, and sure enough, he was right. And I have video. I didn't have time to put it in there, and I didn't want to get accused of editing video again. And, you know, this is mostly, I would, you know, hopefully my audience and hopefully you guys understand that my credibility comes first, and I do everything I can to keep my credibility. If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. But I have video where the cameraman was literally recording the speedometer, okay, as they were driving, to say, look, 35 miles an hour, we're not breaking the law. Like, he was that sure they were going to get pulled over, you know. But I'm not sure how far the drive was from one place to another. I'm not as far as the battery or the camera, if he was recording the whole thing. But, like, he was that sure he was going to get pulled over, and sure enough, he did. And that's what happened. And for the fact that, yeah, I don't want to see more and more people get DUIs, and I don't want cops now to be extremely paranoid and say, oh, you know, I can't cut people slack a break or cut people a break now because I don't want to be the next person to get a couple thousand hits on YouTube. But at the same time, Jeff, they're not stopping one way or another. So we need more people to do this. We need more people to step up and, you know, basically tell these cops, you know, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you remember last week, we talked about that incident in Los Angeles after the Stanley Cup, where the fans were kind of hyped up and a little bit of a riot broke out, and the LAPD was hovering one of their surveillance drones, as odd as that is to say, from a police department. They were hovering one of their surveillance drones above the crowd, and this charged up, riotous crowd began firing beer cans and beer bottles, and somebody flung a T-shirt up and took this drone out. I mean, it wrapped the shirt all around the rotors, and out of the sky it fell. But there was an article that I saw this morning I believe it was on the Drudge, that now there is a man in South Beach who is now using drones to monitor police, which I think is a great thing. I think that we need more people to step up and do things like that. I mean, hell, with the drone, you could be far enough away that nobody even knows who's in control of this thing. So there's no confrontation between you, the person using the camera, and the police officers, and they still are held accountable by the fact that these interactions between police officers and the public are being filmed. So I think that's a great thing.
That is good stuff. And
it's also a technological war, and I certainly can't claim that we're winning the technological war, because we're up against the biggest money and power in the friggin' world. So I can't claim that, but we're doing the best we can. We're like when you see the movies like MacGyver with paper clips and thumbtacks and toothpicks and Elmer's glue, putting things together, but we're making it work. Like whatever we have to do, we're gonna make it work. Yeah, they have their satellite trucks and their paid propagandists. Just like the American Revolution. Yeah, you could send over thousands and thousands of redcoats, but yeah, farmers that are fighting for their homes, and they know the woods by their houses, and they're gonna set up snipers, and no, they're not gonna play by the rules of war. You know what? They're gonna pick out the officers, and they're going to shoot them through the fucking face. So that's the way it's done. And this revolution seems to be evolution, levolution, however you want to, put it, whichever term you choose. There's no doubt about it that the tables are getting turned upside down. That they are pulling the rug out from under us, but we're doing our best to stay on our feet here, and we're taking blow after blow. And you see, national activism is, you would think it's a lot more dangerous, and I guess if you, not so much national activism, international activism is definitely dangerous, because that's when they'll say you're cooperating with people in other countries, and they'll expatriate you and drone your ass, which they've done to multiple people. I think it's up to 4 now. Yeah.
There was what?
Anwar al-Awlaki and his kid. There was the one in...
There was another guy that was with him at the time, also an American citizen, as well as his Anwar al-Awlaki's.
Yeah, I think 4 total. I just was at an event where Dan Johnson spoke.
Like, man, what bugs me about that, and this is what I think a lot of the average person misses about that incident there where they killed Anwar al-Awlaki, is that regardless of his guilt or innocence, he is still an American citizen, and as an American citizen is guaranteed.
That's what people don't get. Listen, that's what they don't get. Right, he's an American citizen, but
no matter how horribly, right. It wasn't like Jeffrey Dahmer ate people.
Right.
He ate people, and he still gave.
Listen, here's the thing, and this is and one of the best interviews I've ever done, and I'm a voluntarist, libertarian, anarchist, however you want to word it. All right, one of the best interviews I've ever heard, and that's saying a lot. It's up there. It's really up there. It was a coast-to-coast interview, but I recorded the whole thing. I put it on my YouTube channel, and just type in Stuart Rhodes coast-to-coast, and you'll find it. There's not really video because it's like a 4-hour. They ended up keeping him on the whole show, and it was one of the best interviews I ever heard. And he broke down exactly how, and I talk about this a lot, thanks to him, informing me on this through, multiple times. On different things, but this interview, he really breaks it down, and he talks about how when tyranny comes to a country, okay, you have what's known as like the 2-rail system, okay? Picture like a railroad tracks. You have 2 rails, okay? Now, the way it works right now in the United States of America, is that you have your crime system, your judicial system, okay? And I'm not getting into the it's not like a criminal justice system, it's a criminal punishment system. I'm saying how it's supposed to be. You have crimes that are committed, and the costumes are, that's their job, is to, I guess, to enforce the laws. Now, it's hard even telling a story because I've lost so much faith. Like, I just don't believe in the system whatsoever, but I'll do my best here. So anyway, you have 2 tracks, right? You have the law enforcement track, and then you have the rules of war track, all right, which is completely different. World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, all these things, all right? That's completely different. They play by a different set of standards, all right? When a country is at war, you don't, every single person there, are they getting a trial? Afghanistan, Iraq, Guantanamo, Abu Ghraib. Do you think they got trials? No. You know why? Because it's under the rules of war. Jeff, do you know what uh, under the rules of war? Do you know what punishment is? You know, under the rules of war, if you're an enemy combatant, if I'm an American and you're a Taliban or Al Qaeda, or whatever, under the rules of war, what am I justified to do to you?
Well, don't you have to abide by the Geneva Convention?
Well,
I mean,
no,
that's what I would
well,
think.
well, okay, okay.
I mean, I would imagine
All right, hang on.
if you're captured, you probably can't, execute me execution style.
All right. And I can't get mad at you for going way deeper than I was planning on going. Okay, number one, Geneva Convention. Most trust me. I know. I was in the military. Nobody listen to the Geneva Convention. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's one thing. But no, I'm making a point. Okay, we're two people. You're the enemy combatant. I'm the righteous American. By the rules of war, me and you are at war. Okay, do I need to try to capture you? Do I need to try to capture you?
No, you don't have to try to
fucking shoot you right. Yeah, shoot you dead right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
That's what war is. You're trying to kill more of the other people. All right. Now, yeah, when you get to the Geneva Convention, or if soldiers.
Yeah, I thought you meant like if I was captured.
Raise the white flag and totally give up. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a different ball game, and a lot of times. Even the soldiers are even given orders. We're not taking prisoners. They're not gonna let them eat their food or try to take care of them or take the chance of them doing something to them. So under the rules of war, you do not get a trial by jury. You do not get habeas corpus, okay? Now, this is what's so scary about the NDAA is it brings the rules of war to the United States. Now, remember when I was talking about the two tracks, okay? You have your criminal justice, okay? Now, what you see and what Stuart Rhodes talks about is you see this in every time that an open society is closed, okay, and turned into an authoritarian, totalitarian society, is you see them start to blend until they become one, all right? Now, over the years, we've been seeing, and I've been saying it, that you're going to start to see these terrorists abroad that people aren't very familiar with, different color skin, they talk a different language, they dress a different way, they pray to a God that most people, don't really understand other than in the movies, Allah Akbar, and I got a vest full of dynamite, that's it. But where was I going? So the two tracks, okay, is you start to blend them, okay, because once you're able to get rid of the criminal justice aspect of it, where you have a trial by jury and you're able to face your accusers in a court of law and be judged by a jury of your peers, well, that's a better system than most, okay? I'm not bashing on the system at this moment. I'm actually giving it some credit because it is better than most systems. A hell of a lot better compared to the alternative. The alternative is what the United States now created. The Patriot Act started it, but Barry finished it with the National Defense Authorization Act, where now enemy combatant has been changed to what did Dan say? It was it was so it's almost even hard to remember. It was like combative, incombative. I know it was belligerent, something combative, something belligerent. Okay, and it's undefined. It means literally anybody who they declare commits an act of belligerence in any way, shape, or form, which is also undefined, or if you are an associated force of Al Qaeda, which is actually a U.S. funded group, or if you are associated force, or if you substantially support. Now, what's substantially support? What if you say a prayer? What if you have a thought? All right, or all right, that's real vague.
It's like what if you Googled something by accident. You know what I mean? And now it's in your browser history. So
research?
Like what if you're researching this to learn more about it, and they check your browser? Oh, you're looking at Al Qaeda there, boy. You lose. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, you don't go to court. You don't get a trial by jury. You don't get
no, you're not innocent until proven guilty.
No, you're guilty
until
you're just
proven
guilty.
innocent, but
Right.
they don't give you an opportunity to even prove you're innocent.
You will immediately be declared an enemy of the state. You will be immediately declared an enemy combatant, and under the rules of war, you will lose your citizenship. It will be stripped from you. Once you lose so when they say this does not apply, okay, I really need to make this clear, okay? When they say this does not apply to American citizens, they say that and they mean that, because once they declare you an enemy belligerent or an enemy combatant, they immediately expatriate you. Okay? You are immediately rendered a non-citizen of the United States of America. You are the enemy at that point. All right? So you don't get much more serious. You know what? You don't get any more serious than that. That is the United States government literally declaring war on not only the American people, but humanity. Now, I say that, and I don't know which one to put first, because the United States of America, the federal government, already has declared war on humanity. The rest of the world knows this. Now they're just starting to clamp down on American citizens. But yeah, this is real.
Sure. What was that? Just a few 2 weeks ago that we covered that the sheriff in Minnesota, who I guess they're really small town. They just were given an MRAP by the federal government. Their local news media kind of was taken back by the fact that this little podunk town now has an MRAP. So they went to talk to the county sheriff, and his response was the MRAP is much more intimidating than a Dodge pickup truck. And they clarified, saying that, hey, look, we're at war. America is a battleground.
Oh, that's the other thing is, right, and you're right. Under the NDAA, it has been drawn up by lawyers, and there's a difference between legal and lawful, and I certainly cannot cover that in the few remaining moments here we have. But the entire world has been drawn up as a battlefield. That is including the United States of America. It is now literally a battlefield here. So that's why you have Predator drones in the sky. That's why you have so many things going on. You have cameras going up all over the place, okay, except in many courtrooms. What are the only courtrooms that really they allow cameras in? I mean, some states, certain areas allow it, but other than that, when it comes to celebrities, all right, that's okay, that's cool. Like, they want to see the celebrities in court. But when it comes to a lot of regular people, that's one place I really think there should be cameras. To show accountability, to show what's going on. And yeah, a lot of them do have surveillance, but that's a big difference than allowing cameras in the court. People should be allowed to have cameras in a court, in my opinion. So, man, I'll tell you what, I'm trying to see if...
Well, and you were saying about the, all the NDAA and surveillance and how all the stuff is all coming together. And I'm looking here right now at an article about a plan in Chicago to install monitoring equipment in lampposts so that they can track and monitor the flow of traffic and pedestrian traffic. And that obviously, that's what they say their original intent is, to track how many people are walking down the sidewalk and how many cars are going through this intersection. And but that it never is as it's intended to be. It's always such a nice, light and fluffy kind of introduction. But then once it gets implemented, then it's the lamppost will be grabbing the cookies from your internet browser to see what you've been looking at on the internet, and so
No, I've read stories where they're and when they talk about it, chances are they've already done it, where they're putting microphones in buses, on street corners, and restaurants.
just think of this, okay? That like, say 20 years ago, if someone were to say to you, you're sitting in their kitchen and they're like, shh, 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 don't say anything too loud because there's a microphone in the refrigerator. That's obviously that would have been insane. 20 years ago, that would have been batshit crazy. This guy's nuts. Get me out of here because this guy's ready to go off at any minute. He's a few fries short of a Happy Meal. But now in 2014, when you have connected devices like that, where you have your Samsung refrigerator that lets you tweet that you had orange juice at 7 o'clock in the morning right from a touchscreen panel on the refrigerator. And these things are a reality today. It's crazy that's how it really is.
It really is, and people can call us conspiracy theorists all they want. We're the ones that have been proven right over the years, and
well, there's no conspiracy to that. I mean, the NSA has a huge data center out in Utah where they're collecting everything that goes across the web. They're collecting it, and when you're at your refrigerator and you're giving out your voice tweet in the morning on Twitter saying yes, send on the Samsung refrigerator that you're having a nice big cold glass of orange juice. Well, where do you think that goes? I mean, it doesn't just bypass. It's not like there's like a secondary Samsung refrigerator internet that goes over the regular old internet that the NSA is collecting. But when people say those 20 years ago that this stuff was crazy, like there's microphones in the light bulbs. You know what I mean? With everything being connected to the internet and wired to the web, I mean, this is
no, I know it's
becoming a terrifying world.
It is, but no, but it really is. We're gonna have to do the best we can. And here's the thing: is you can't be afraid. You cannot allow these people to control you. You are not obligated to let anybody, okay, control your emotions, control your fear. If you do, you're mentally enslaved to them. You're emotionally enslaved to them. Now, when I say anybody, obviously there's a difference when it comes to children. You are responsible for your child, and you have to, if you're a good parent, take care of your child, want the best for your child, and die for your child if that need be. That's a whole different ballgame. And when the child gets older and becomes its own person, his or her, let the child make its own decisions. But other than that, all right, you are not bound by anybody to have to live in fear, be worried about it. And I know how difficult it could be, knowing the power of the police state with the boot on your neck, that they're constantly choking that rope tighter and tighter, and you feel like they're coming down on you. I've been there. I've had multiple death threats. I've been trolled so hard. I've had people take pictures of my house, put it on the internet for it to go, viral on some crazy site on a YouTube channel that had 0 subscribers. So obviously, there was some major players behind that. But, I've had the FBI show up at other people's houses investigating me. I know all about what we're doing. But you need to keep doing this. You have to do it because we talked about this recently. I don't want to be in a position where one day my daughter or possibly a grandchild looks up to me, if I'm still around, if there's still a world, and asks me, what was I doing when freedom was taken? What was I doing when there was this revolution going on, which I believe we're just in the beginning stages of? What was I doing? Where was I? Am I prepared to look down at either my daughter or grandchildren in shackles and say, "Oh yeah, sorry about that. I didn't have the courage to step up
Sorry,
to
I
these
was
people."
I was too busy watching Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah,
I had to vote
right,
for the winning contestant on
right.
The Bachelor.
Or I kept hoping that voting would change things. Listen, people, voting has never gotten a society back into being a free society, or freedom has never been voted in. All right, that is. I mean, you might some smart ass. No, not smart ass. Okay, somebody might pull something out of their ass and say, well, here there was this one case in this one small town somewhere where they voted something in. And all right, if that's the case, good. But on a large scale, with what we're talking here, big deal countries, nations. I mean, with America, we're talking a fucking empire, for God's sakes. 900 bases in over 134 countries. Are you kidding me? And how on earth is that possibly sustainable? It's not. It's ridiculous. And we have to keep doing what we're doing. Let's see. What time is it? I know we're already over.
It's 8:05.
Yeah, all right. We went over. I'm pretty sure Mike Shanklin is next. I wrote him just to double check. He
I
might
thought
be
the
doing.
show tonight was 2 hours.
Wait, what's tonight?
It's Tuesday night.
No, tonight's 1 hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I keep going, but if he's getting ready for the show, I certainly don't want to take time from him. But yeah, and I can't see. If you could find a schedule real quick, there should be a schedule somewhere of the shows. I should have them, and I'm pretty sure he usually comes out right after me.
I think he does too.
Yeah, all right. So I better close up here. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening tonight. Tomorrow we're gonna have a real big show. We have a lot. We're gonna talk more about this. And we have a ton of stories. We had so many stories to talk about tonight. We didn't get to. We got to like maybe one or two of them, and we didn't even get into detail about any of them. But tomorrow is the main event of the week. Tomorrow you can catch us on TuneIn Radio on your mobile device, no matter where you're at. Tomorrow you could watch live phone calls, guests, video clips, the works, everything. So make sure you go to my website, because we're on 3 nights a week now, and it's about to be 4 very quick. Silence is Compliance, Liberty Chat Edition, Sunday 7 to 9. Tonight, Voluntary Virtues Network, 7 to 8. Wednesday, FPRNradio.com. That will be 7 to 9, depending, maybe 9:30. And let's see, go to the Wilkes-Barre Independent Gazette, check out the new work that they just put out and the new stories they got. Make sure you go to Adam versus the Man. I'm going to be doing a book review on that real soon. Check out his new book, Freedom. That is an absolute must read or listen. He has the audio version of that out too. It's a game changer for sure. But we have a lot coming up, people. If you want to help in any way, if you want to volunteer, get in touch with me. Let me know. I could use writers, more cameramen, tech guys, more video editors, anything. If you want to help, if you want to make a donation, go to anthonyantonello.com. I don't care if it's $5, Bitcoin, anything will help. And just help us keep doing what we're doing, because we're changing the world. We are literally changing the world. When I first started doing this 8 years, people thought it was a complete joke. Oh my God, you're a journalist, you're an activist. Yeah, well, look at the numbers now. Compare our numbers to the most popular radio show in northeastern Pennsylvania, and that'll let you show you who's putting real information out, real stories, no holds barred. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Jeff, you got anything else, brother?
No, man, I'm good. Other than letting everybody know, join us tomorrow.
Yeah, make sure tomorrow, FPRN Radio, you could sign in early. We'll be doing some show prep, listening to some music, and we'll be going live at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you check us out there. And until then, stay safe. Keep your trigger fingers ready on your cameras, and record a police any chance you get. Record a cop every single chance you get, whether it's you or somebody else. Always, always, always record the police. But that's my public service announcement for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Anthony Antonello, and I am out.